Time to straighten out some of this air compressor line. Okay, my plan for today, and it might take a day or two, is to get a T up there, go around the corner, and over to where my duct work is going. I have a 5-inch duct coming down here, and my air line is going to come down here as well. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that. I can put a bend like these right here. I can put a bend in this corner and have solid pipe from that T all the way over to a T over here. But then I would have to get this up there. I would have to thread it behind the electrical conduit right there and over that, which isn't all that much of a deal. But then I have to do it over here as well. And doing all that bending means that I'll have to do a lot of straightening as well, way up high there with stuff in the way. So plan B would be to use an elbow in that corner. And the more I think about it, these cost $20 some. So I don't want to use a whole bunch of these. I want to use a bend wherever possible. But I don't know if I can do this or not. First thing I need to do is straighten out a bunch of this and see how much I have. I need, what was it, like 36 feet to get from here to there. And I don't know how much this kit came with to start with. It probably came with 100 feet, so I'm probably good on that, but I need a lot of room to straighten this out. So I think I'll open the door, start straightening this first, and then while I'm straightening this, maybe come up with a plan for how I'm going to do this. I would rather not use an elbow if at all possible. And once I straighten it out, I should be able to like bend it through stuff and then get the kink out without too much problems. I got all this done without all that big of a problem. So, all right, let me start straightening this out. Just a little more to go. Right about here somewhere is the 21 feet I need for the west wall, and then I need 16 more feet over there. I didn't want to open the garage door yet because it's really hot and humid out there, and I have my dehumidifier running constantly to keep the humidity out of here. It is so nice not having your cast iron rust. It'll be even nicer once I get graphene on that stuff, but that'll come at a later date. So I'm just going to push one more push, and then while I have this coil as close to the tube as possible, I'll pick the whole thing up, spin it around, point it out the door, and we'll get the last of it pushed, and then pull that tube out of there. And then, yeah, it's going to be difficult to get this bent. I'll have to go back into the corner and come out here. It is what it is. We'll get it done. There it is. That's almost 40 feet. I believe it's a little, well, close to 39 feet. But it's kind of hard to measure this. I measured up to the stand, and then up to here, and then up to the end of the straightening pipe, and then measured out the last bit that I needed. So hopefully I got a little bit more than enough. So now I got to pull this in and somehow get this bent. We'll figure it out though. All right, with that, as far as it goes that way, my bend line is right there. So I can actually come out a little bit, and I want to bend into this open space right here. I can move that barrel if I need to. And we have a bending jig right here. If you watched the video where I made these cooling loops here, you can see a bit more about the bending jig. But for this bend, we're just going to set that up right here and bend it into this track right here. And that's basically all we need. Okay, we got our chunk. So like I said, I'm going to try threading it through here first, and then I think I'll have to actually get the bend through there. It's going to be flopping all over the place. And then reposition this over here and kind of curl it back behind there. The conduit and this conduit, well, it's all conduit. The conduit should hold it up until I can get fasteners on it. And what I'll do is get it nice and tight in the corner. And I believe wherever I have conduit going up to the top there, I believe all I got to do is put some kind of a spacer in there and a zip tie. I don't want to zip tie it down to the conduit. I want it up, right up against the top. So we'll figure that out once we get it up there. And then once we get over into this area, I'm going to take this PVC trim, and that fits, let me see if I can get this, that fits perfectly behind the J channel up there, and that's the only place I can fasten it. We don't have anything to fasten it to going upwards except for the tin, but you can see that, oh, a good 1.5 inches down below the bottom of that J channel there, we have wood. Okay, let's close this door and start fishing this. All right, one end of that T up there is going to have a plug on it. But first we'll connect the T. I've already deburred the ends, and you try to cut them as straight as you possibly can. Get that seated all the way, and then just tighten it up. You don't have to use pipe dope or anything. I'm just going to snug it for now, and then we'll do the other end, which is the cap. And I'm going to be reusing these caps as I work my way around the room. All right, now I'm going to tighten these down with some wrenches, and we'll go get the other end on the pipe that I have up there, and then this end on the cooling loop that goes down to the compressor. And that'll probably be it for today, but we're going to finish this up in this video. I'm going to hurry up and finish up the day before my battery goes dead. I'll start this tomorrow. This will all be in one video. But this goes on top of there, and then that bend that I made is almost completely gone. So I'm just going to rebend it. So I'll attach this end to here, and then I'll work my way with clamps over to the corner and then just push that into the corner, and then work my way over to here. And I believe I'm just going to leave it long for now and wait until I get the ductwork in and down, and then I'm going to figure out exactly where I want the drop to be. I believe I have enough line to get the line over to about right here, and it's going to come down right in this area somewhere. So I will get back with you tomorrow morning. Okay, day 2. Got the fan on today because it's insanely hot outside, and it's fairly hot in here. Got everything ready to go. Got my clamps, screws, driver, wrenches, and I'm ready to put the piece that I made in the last segment on the top of the run right here. I can use these single-sided EMT clamps for this area right here, and then I have actual EMT that's in the way. And what I believe I'm going to do is make a little spacer and then just zip tie this to the top of that conduit. That conduit's on the wall really well, and this stuff's pretty light. So we'll get it done all the way up to that conduit, and then we'll assess it once we get there. Okay, the T is in. I got 3 one-sided straps in and 3 zip ties in, and the zip ties have varying thicknesses of spacers between them and the conduit. And I cut the spacers out of this. This is solid vinyl trim, just household trim. You can get it at any big box store. And then I cut it to various widths, and I use that for the shims on the metal straps as well, but you can see them on the zip ties. Well, let's go up there and take a closer look. These are a couple of the shims that I used. So like I said, I want it to be right at the bottom of this all the way around, so it doesn't have any bellies where water collects. And it's real easy to do on this part because you could just push it up against here, but it's a little harder here because you can only see the edge of it. But I think I did a pretty good job. Got more work to do back there, but I'm gonna keep going around the corner, cut a few more of these spacers, and right in here I think I'll put a metal strap. Yeah, I think 4 more straps and 1 more zip tie over here, And then we're going to come back over here, and where this is hanging off, I'm going to take a piece of string and just throw a screw into the wood up there and pull that tight up against the top of the tin. That way it'll be higher than the rest of it and won't collect water. The water will run back this way to the auto drain here. Okay, let's get that strap in right there. Okay, we have our little spacer block and some Loctite super glue. We're gonna put just a bit on the back of this, and all that's doing is holding it in place while I do the other procedures. So that's gonna go right in the middle, right there. We'll hold it in place, let the glue dry a bit, and that should be it. And then we'll go grab the rest of the stuff. Push the pipe up against the ribs. And it is rock solid. It's a pain in the butt working with the tin walls and tin ceiling, which is why I have 3/4 inch plywood down here, but it does have its benefits. Right here, I'm just using a magnet and a spring clamp as a dead man, and I'll be putting the last strap right here. I'll probably put another one just like that a little bit further down, and then we'll cap that end, and then we'll go strap up that other end, and that'll wrap it up. All right, let me show you what we got here. Here is the end of the line, and it's plugged off. I just have it tied up so that it drains back down into the main line there. I will probably just use 2 elbows to go up and over, and then 2 elbows on the other side. This is going to be a continuous loop all the way around the room, but we won't be getting to this part until fall sometime. I'm going to be doing this in quadrants. The stuff that we just put up is the first quadrant, and that's going to service the outlet by the miter saw. The second quadrant is going to go to right about there, about 8 feet from the wall. There's going to be a room on the other side of the wall. There's a door behind that foam right there. The next one is going to go right along that wall over to a garage door on the other side, and I'm going to have a fold-out hose reel on that. So the hose reel will service inside the garage, and if you have a car outside that you want to fill the tires or something, you'll be able to unlatch it and turn it, and it'll go outwards towards the car. The next quadrant is going to pick up from the end of that and go over right in here somewhere. I'm going to have a sanding table and my air sander and all that stuff over here. And there's going to be a couple outlets over here, and this will be where I do my assembly, and my air tools and stuff will be over here. And then the final quadrant is going to pick up right there, go across and up and over like we talked about, but it's also going to have a drop coming right here, and that'll go through the wall to the outside. In the spring and the fall, on really nice days, I want to be able to roll my workbench outside. I have a gorgeous view out there, well, when I don't have a fallen tree on there, but I need to put my concrete slab out there. But I'll have electricity and air going to the outside out there, and I'll keep the door closed because I really don't want all that humidity in here messing up my iron once I get these tabletops done. I'm going to be putting that ceramic coat on them. So that's that. Next thing we're going to be doing here, once I get the cap in the mail, the first cap, the one that's on that end, after a month in the mail, I got that somewhere, he finally delivered an empty bag. That's it right there. He said whatever it was, it got caught in the machine and it was going around and around in the machine and it was empty when he found it. So after a month's wait, I reordered it and I have that cap, but I also ordered another cap for this end, and that was like a week ago. So hopefully that gets here pretty soon. Once that gets here, I'll do a leak test on the lines, but before I can do that, I have to do the startup procedure. Well, wire the compressor, pull it over here, wire it up to its shutoff, and then do the startup procedure, and then hook up the whip to our union right here, and we'll leak test what we got. Hopefully we have no leaks in the system, but only time will tell. I believe the next video will be the running of the ductwork. I have all of my fastening points in the ceiling, and I ordered the ductwork 4 days ago, and I believe it shipped yesterday, so it'll probably be here Monday or Tuesday. So next week's video hopefully will be running the ductwork.